Hello and welcome to this lecture on trademarks in digital world. My name is Maria Boicova-Wynants. I'm an IP lawyer and IP strategy consultant for almost 20 years. When I started working in this field, I was receiving client instructions by fax, submitting trademark applications on paper, and bringing payment orders to the bank physically, a whole big pile of them. But the world has changed and changed quite drastically. Which is more, we're still at the very beginning and much more spectacular changes are yet to come. So today, I would like to talk about trademarks in digital world, their role, possibilities they offer, and the troubles they can potentially present. Shall we start? First, let me introduce you to someone. As we navigate the intricate web of the digital age, trademarks have transcended their traditional roles. They are no longer mere legal instruments, but have evolved into dynamic entities that exist in a state of flux, constantly being shaped and reshaped by the forces of innovation and creativity. In this digital expanse, where the intangible becomes tangible, how do we, as IP professionals, redefine the boundaries of trademark protection? Today, we dissect the complexities of trademarks in the digital realm, where every click, every search, and every post can be a potential infringement or a stroke of genius. Let's embark on this intellectual journey to demystify the digital DNA of trademarks. As you can assume, this was a text generated by ChatGPT and pronounced by me in the avatar form. Welcome to the brand new world. While the text is a classic ChatGPT garbage, there are some grains of truth in there. Tangible indeed becomes more and more intangible. It already is, but it will be even more so in the future. And trademark protection boundaries are already redefined and will again be more and more redefined in the future. Before I begin, let me ask you a question. Why do we need trademarks? What's their purpose? Primarily to distinguish between goods and services of one company from those of the other, right? That's at least the classic legal definition. But is it still relevant? A while ago, I shared an insightful article on LinkedIn by Christine Haight Fairley entitled Trademarks in the Algorithmic World. This article delves into the evolving landscape of trademark protection in the context of emerging technologies. Fairley argues that the traditional reasons for protecting trademarks are diminishing in importance due to advancements such as algorithms. These algorithms personalize shopping experiences by suggesting products based on individual interests, reducing the consumer's reliance on trademarks for guidance. Furthermore, the rise of digital goods is shifting the function of trademarks from indicating the origin of products to signaling a certain status. This shift is not entirely new, but it's becoming increasingly prevalent. With the advent of autonomous agents capable of anticipating and adapting to user needs in real time, the role of trademarks is being redefined even further. Another critical point Fairley makes is that trademarks, intended to signal trust and quality, can sometimes mislead consumers. For instance, a brand may project an eco friendly image while being owned by a major tobacco company. Technologies like blockchain and NFC, near field communication, are empowering consumers to access product information directly, diminishing the informational role of trademarks. To clarify, the NFC is a set of short range wireless technologies that typically require a distance of 4 centimeters or so to initiate a connection, unlike the NFTs, non fungible tokens. These technological advancements are fundamentally altering how we perceive trademarks, making their traditional informational role significantly less important. In virtual environments like the metaverse, trademarks operate under a different paradigm, where their primary value lies in their reputation. As we navigate this evolving landscape, it becomes clear that the nature of trademarks and their role in the market are being transformed by technology. This transformation challenges us to rethink how we approach trademark protection and the strategies we employ to maintain brand integrity in this increasingly digital world of ours. Given how digital our world has already become and continues to evolve, ignoring this digital realm is simply not an option, whether you embrace it or not. It's not just a passing trend, it's a fundamental shift in how we live and how we work and how we interact with each other. I'm convinced that even those who have no immediate plans whatsoever to engage with the metaverse need a robust trademark strategy for the digital age. Allow me to illustrate why this is crucial. First, consider the consumers of today and of tomorrow. Our current teenagers and tweens are digital natives. They have grown up in a world where the internet, social media, and digital transactions are as natural to them as breathing. For them, the digital space is not an addition to their lives, but that's an integral part of their existence. They socialize on platforms like Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and increasingly they are exploring virtual environments and augmented reality experiences. These young consumers will soon become the primary market drivers. Their expectations and behaviors will shape the future of commerce, and they value authenticity, transparency, and instant access to information. Brands that fail to establish a strong digital presence, they just risk becoming irrelevant in their eyes. For them, a brand's digital footprint is as critical as its physical presence, if not more so. Moreover, this digital first generation influences the purchasing decisions of their parents, our current audience. Think about the last time you bought a product based on a recommendation from your child, or better, push from your child. As these digital natives grow older, their influence will only expand. Ignoring digital also means missing out on the enormous potential of the e commerce today, which has been growing exponentially. The global pandemic of a couple of years ago accelerated this shift, making online shopping a dominant force. Consumers now expect seamless online experiences, from browsing to purchasing and beyond. A well thought out digital trademark strategy ensures that your brand remains recognizable, trustworthy, and protected in this ever expanding marketplace. Additionally, consider the rise of technologies such as blockchain and NFTs. Innovations offer new ways to authenticate products, protect intellectual property, and engage with consumers. Brands that leverage those technologies can provide unparalleled transparency and build stronger trust with their audience. And let's not forget the metaverse. While it may seem futuristic, elements of the metaverse are already here, influencing how we interact and do business. Virtual reality spaces, digital collectibles, and virtual storefronts are becoming more and more common. Even if you are not ready to dive into the whole metaverse thing, understanding its potential and preparing for its impact is essential. In conclusion, ignoring digital is not an option for anyone looking to sustain and grow their brand. The digital age is here, and it is reshaping consumer expectations and behaviors in profound ways. To stay relevant and competitive, a comprehensive digital trademark strategy is not just beneficial, it's simply imperative. This is not merely about keeping up with trends, it's about future proofing your brand in an increasingly digital world. Later in this lecture, I will prove this point. Even if you don't care and don't want to do anything with the digital world, someone might have different plans and you might not like them. Some companies, particularly in the fashion sector, are already taking proactive steps to protect their brands in the digital realm. Like Nike and Adidas, for example, are filing trademark applications for digital goods and services. This move is logical considering the growing importance of avatars and virtual identities. For many of us here today, the idea of spending real money on virtual sneakers might seem absurd. For me, certainly it is. But remember, we are not the consumers of tomorrow. But our kids, they live in a world where their digital presence is as important as their physical one. Imagine your teenager insisting on Nike sneakers for their avatar in a game. It might sound funny, but it's happening. And brands like Nike and Adidas are smartly positioning themselves to meet this demand. They're ensuring their trademarks are registered, their policing strategies are robust, and their terms of use are user friendly. In this digital realm, missteps and I can have immediate and far reaching consequences for brand reputation. Unfortunately, as with any valuable asset, bad faith actors are trying to hijack trademark rights in the metaverse through preemptive filings and other actions. So, vigilant enforcement and legal action are crucial to combat these infringements and protect brand integrity. So, while it might seem like a distant concern, protecting your brand in the digital world is becoming increasingly vital. Embracing this new frontier isn't just for the Nikes and Adidases of this world. It's for anyone looking to stay relevant and competitive in the rapidly evolving marketplace of today. And who knows, maybe one day I will also be sporting virtual golf shoes on the digital greens, although so far I prefer the real one. Some companies like Hermes were cautious about entering the metaverse, wary of diluting their brand image. And we all know what happened next. To remind you, in late 2021, Hermes protested the sale of Meta Birkins, virtual NFTs sold on OpenSea and created by the artist Mason Rothschild. These Meta Birkins appeared virtually identical to the coveted Birkin bag, a product instantly recognizable and highly valued by Hermes. To put this into perspective, Hermes Birkin bags sell for thousands of dollars in the physical world. And while also Meta Birkin NFTs commanded quite high prices, reportedly bringing in almost a million on OpenSea. Hermes, understandably protective of their iconic brand, protested and filed suit. In a significant ruling, the jury found that Meta Birkins violated Hermes's trademark rights. So Hermes won the case, reaffirming the importance of vigilance and proactive protection in the digital domain. But let's not forget, both Hermes and Birkin are well known brands. Nevertheless, this case underscores a crucial point. Even brands that are hesitant to fully embrace the metaverse must nevertheless remain vigilant about protecting their intellectual property. As we move forward, it's essential to balance caution with proactive measures. The digital landscape is not just a trend, it's a new frontier that requires careful navigation to maintain and protect brand integrity. Now, the metaverse thrives on user generated content, or UGC. This means users are not just passive participants, they're actively creating their own spaces and their own experiences. From virtual fashion lines to custom built virtual worlds, UGC presents a goldmine for brand engagement and marketing opportunities. However, with great creativity comes great responsibility, especially when it comes to trademark protection. Imagine this scenario. A user creates a virtual clothing line that bears a striking resemblance to a protected brand. While this UGC can have impact on the brand visibility and create a buzz, it can also pose a significant risk of consumer confusion. How do we ensure that users' creativity doesn't inadvertently infringe on trademark rights? We need to develop proactive strategies to safeguard trademarks in this new frontier. This means not only monitoring user generated content for potential infringements, but also educating users about trademark rights and best practices. One approach is to establish clear guidelines for user generated content within virtual platforms to define what constitutes acceptable use of trademarks. So take the lead on this one. Additionally, leveraging technologies like artificial intelligence and blockchain can help automate the detection and enforcement of trademark violations in the metaverse. So, while metaverse presents exciting opportunities for brand engagement, it also, of course, brings unique challenges in terms of trademark protection. It is truly exciting time to be involved in IP as we continue to adapt and innovate in response to this evolving digital landscape. But after all, with great challenges come even greater opportunities. Nevertheless, it's very important to be aware of all those questions that arise in this respect. Let's talk about the basics of this new digital world. There are essentially two important and interlinked concepts to wrap the head around. First one, this whole virtual stuff is valuable. All this virtual stuff you can buy and you can use. In the metaverse, you can get clothes for your online character, decorate your digital house with cool art, and enjoy special brand experiences all online. Now, here's the kicker, as they say. Normal trademark rules work in this virtual world too. So, if you protect your brand for real life clothes, you can do the same for the virtual one. Even more so, there's actually no reason not to do it. Think about it. If someone sets up a fake shop selling fake virtual Nikes, that's just like stealing in the real world. It can hurt. Now, the second concept to understand is actually the answer to the question why it is valuable. And here, that gets get ready for something a bit tricky. The concept of virtual scarcity. This means in the digital world, things can be made seem rare even when they're not. This can make people want them more. For brand owners, this is a big deal because it can make your stuff extra special and valuable. All those virtual items, in most cases, are authenticated by NFTs, which is not the topic I will go into as it calls for a separate lecture. Just remember, digital doesn't mean omnipresent. Digital can be scarce, and digital is valuable. The bottom line is a whole new world out there. And but with the right moves, brand owners can make the most of it. Now, let's tackle the big challenge looming over us in the metaverse. What are we doing with territoriality? In the real world, a trademark registration typically applies within a specific country or a region. This means that your rock solid trademark for shoes in the US will not shield you in, let's say, the shoe market of Europe. Quite a headache. And things get even trickier in the metaverse. Picture a world with various metaverse platforms, each operating under different laws and regulations. While this is a united borderless digital frontier, one can easily imagine potential conflicts between company A coming to the metaverse with the virtual sunglasses from the US, while the French company B might have already claimed the same trademark in France. And then they meet in the metaverse without borders. Welcome to the trademark Wild West. While there are some discussions underway about cooperation for trademark protection and enforcement in the metaverse, we are oh so not there yet. And there are more questions than answers, of course. The decentralized nature of the metaverse throws a wrench into our traditional enforcement toolbox, that's clear. There's no central authority to swiftly shut down a rogue virtual store selling off knockoff goods. So, who takes on the role of the virtual sheriff? And do we need one? Maybe we need a system for some sort of ad hoc or even permanent metaverse courts. Well, the brand can potentially issue takedown notices to the metaverse platform, akin to what happens with online copyright and trademark infringement today. The platform can then remove the infringing content and possibly even ban the user. But of course, the question of compensation stays, amongst others. The thing is that metaverse inevitably operates across different jurisdictions, just by definition. So, this means that determining a domestic connection for the purposes of enforcement is highly problematic due to the lack of physical delivery of goods and ubiquity of virtual space. What would be the role of the specific terms of service of the metaverse platforms? Will this role become even more significant in the future? Will it become some sort of a quasi law, perhaps, that will determine also the way how trademark disputes are to be handled? Would the role of NFTs enhance in the future in the context of trademarks? Registering trademarks as NFTs, as non fungible tokens, to create a decentralized and immutable record of IP rights was cited as one of the solutions in several articles that I came about. But I must admit, I don't see how this will solve the problem of territoriality. But it could be that this is something to look into. Considering complexities of cross border disputes, alternative dispute resolution, such as mediation or arbitration, may emerge as the most efficient and effective method for resolving trademark conflicts in this new digital era. Even perhaps mediation as the main avenue. Yet, of course, mediation by definition calls for engagement and willingness of both parties to cooperate to reach a solution. So there are countless challenges of its own, but still, at least, it can effectively accommodate the inherent cross border nature of trademark disputes in the digital world. In essence, staying ahead of the curve means staying informed, means asking all of those questions and trying to find answers to them, adapting to the evolving digital landscape as we go, and devising innovative strategies to safeguard our clients' trademarks in this bold new virtual frontier. Now, some might say, who cares? We are the real deal. We don't do all that metaverse. That's not for us. And I feel you. I don't get the crazy allure of Roblox either. But buckle up, ladies and gentlemen, as I will share with you an example close to home: an IP law firm, a serious traditional IP law firm, a real world one, not planning on any of the metaverse shebang. And what happened? Let's go over some details. On May 27, 2022, a trademark application for Arnold and Sietsma was filed for goods and services in classes 9 and 41, subsequently sparking opposition from a renowned Dutch IP law firm on January 18, 2023. The opposition claimed similarity between entertainment services, namely filing virtual trademark applications in virtual environment, and the opponent's legal services. Quoting the decision, Up to 5, maybe 10 years ago, it would have been absolutely crazy to state that the contested services are similar to the prior legal services in Class 45. However, times are changing. The metaverse is about to change our lives and has, in fact, already changed the lives of many teenagers. As such, it only makes sense that services such as filing virtual trademark applications in a virtual environment in Class 41 are similar to traditional legal services in Class 45. Indeed, as the virtual world becomes increasingly intertwined with our reality, the lines between traditional and virtual services blur. The lines between real and virtual in general blur, and will continue to do even more so in the future. So, the opponent, of course, argued that the prior mark with a rich legacy and stellar reputation could suffer reputational harm from these virtual entertainment services, and in my view, rightly so. The defendant contested, emphasizing the dissimilarity between legal and entertainment services. And in real world, that would certainly be the case. But the real world frontiers were being pushed here. The Benelux Office for Intellectual Property assessed the likelihood of confusion, considering the classic factors such as degree of similarity between designs, recognition of the prior mark. And despite the low degree of similarity between the services, in this case, the fact that the trademarks themselves, the signs, were identical, and considering the enhanced distinctiveness of the prior mark, those two aspects tipped the scales in favor of the likelihood of confusion. So, what was the result? The decision was still, in my view, quite problematic for the IP law firm. Yes, the contested services won't be registered under Class 41 for entertainment services, namely filing virtual trademark applications in virtual environment, but at the same time, it will still be registered under Class 41 for entertainment services, namely virtual transport of virtual characters in the virtual environment, medical care of virtual characters in virtual environment, and stuff like that. Welcome to the contemporary IP landscape. So, as you see, even if you don't care about metaverse, someone else might care in your place, and that ignorance of yours can have pretty tangible consequences. Digital world is full of changes and surprises. But one thing is for sure, virtual stuff is valuable. Perhaps less for today's consumers, but certainly for consumers of tomorrow. And if something is valuable and you don't protect it, someone might try to take it, or better, will take it for sure. Sure, there is a lot of challenges. Enforcing your digital trademark can be tricky, but not having one means you don't even have a chance. It's like leaving your house unlocked. Anyone can just walk in and take what they want. Thus, the point is, registering a trademark to claim your space in the digital world is a good idea anyhow, same as having a distinct trademark strategy for the metaverse. So, I would like to leave you with this: not getting involved and pretending that the pink elephant is not standing right in the middle of the room is no longer an option. Clear trademark strategy for the digital world is a must for any company out there, irrespective of what they actually do. Thank you very much for your attention. The QR code you see on the mock up iPhone on the screen will get you directly to my LinkedIn profile, where I regularly post on all things IP, share my monthly newsletter, and actively engage in different discussions on IP topics. You also see my direct email there, maria@wynants.eu. If you have any further questions or would like to reach out with an IP related request, I'm always happy to hear from you. Again, thank you very much for listening, and let's stay in touch.